that has 7 players from this area. In fact, it's why she wanted to schedule something like this, so she could have players come close to home, like Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Wisconsin. And so this is a really fun opportunity for them because family can be there, they can feel at home, if you will, and maybe this weather will make them feel defensively. I think the key is going to be in the circle, and that's going to set the tone for what this team does defensively. I will say, though, that State does have speed as well. And so I think for both teams, that's what you're going to be watching, how aggressive they are on the base pass. That's what Riley, when we talk about in the circle, Riley Grzelanic, she's starting today. And this really is a staff mentality for Northwestern, what we're going to see in the series, especially with the doubleheader tomorrow. So Riley is the hardest thrower on the staff. She's going to,
she can do everything.
That's the thing, and that's why she is so hard to defend, because this year she comes in and she says to coach, hey, I want to hit some home runs. And it's like, oh, well, you can do that too. Yeah, she's a 5-tool player. Good off speed there from Riley to keep her off balance. And so that'll be the key. I mean, you've got to play her really for it all, the speed, the power. And so you're just on your toes as a defense.
That's the thing about Sacco. Jessie Blaine taking ball 1 here, 1-1 count. No outs, 2 aboard though for the Bulldogs. Blaine, the senior, plays both outfielder and catcher. Transferred in from Auburn prior to last season. Struggled a little bit in their last couple games, though, as she watches strike 2. 0 hits in the last 3. 0 for. Watches ball 1. Runners on first and third here. No outs.
I like that, though, going in. Kylie Edwards is very athletic, but just trying to, change the levels, throw to both sides of the plate that Riley does.
Sophomore infielder, super competitive, according to Coach Ray. And she does. Runners hold.
That's a good play here from this Northwestern defense. Getting it in quickly, holding that runner on third. Probably thought it was too shallow to tag, so that's why you started to go halfway and see what would happen with the wind, especially. So getting these outs will be key. We have a meeting in the circle. I think just another way now to kind of slow things down. And this is a big hitter, right? I mean, this leads teams in home runs. When you have
1-1 pitch, sends it towards short. It's just bobbled by Avisato. Some confusion in the infield. A diving play, safe at home. Jessie Blaine scores for Mississippi State. Staying alive.
Again, I really like how that can, unravel in your mind as a pitcher. The error, a couple runs scored, it can then blow up. But Grzelanic, getting ahead, that for me is key against these hitters. You don't want to give them the free passes. And so far coming back right after that sticks out to me.
Check swing, ball in the dirt, runners on the go. Edwards.
In basically every offensive category, batting average, hits, ribbies, total bases, and I'll add stolen bases. She's got the speed on the base paths as well.
She'll be put to the test, as will this entire Wildcats offense, going up against Raylan Chafin, who is having an outstanding season. You take a look at the record there, 14-1. What do you see in terms of her stuff?
She's so impressive as a person and a pitcher. We'll get to that. They have her back.
2-1 pitch, little slapper, bounce towards third. Safe at first. Grace Nito on the board, or on the bag rather, for the Wildcats.
So Nito is the spark at the top. She's done a really good job. And notice right away, chokes up, good barrel control. It's up in the zone, but it's the hops. She gets just a
second.
And so this is part of what we can see from both teams, taking the extra 60 feet. Good heads up from Nito. All it took was a little bobble, little mishap, and then Nito takes the extra bag. Both teams, they play similar games like this, just looking to be aggressive.
Nito now 5 for 5 in stolen bases versus attempts this season.
Right now, I was wondering maybe even if it was like pitch clock and it was released late, but I didn't see any call on the field like right when she was pitching.
Number 8, short.
What we do know is 2 runners around now for the Wildcats, no outs, bottom of the first, looking to dig their way out of this 3-run hole.
Like you're the one. You're in that 3 spot. Let's hit.
8 hits across 4 games last weekend. One-two count here. Avasato's gotten off to quite the start with that decisiveness Elise talked about. 9 hits on opening weekend, so certainly no adjustment, a period. It would
seeing it, and she's just trying to see it right now and hit it. Even if it's not solid, she's just trying to see it. Here's my zone. I have 2 strikes, probably expanding my zone a little bit, and I'm going to keep fighting.
1-2 pitch again. Avasato got a piece of that one down the left field line. Just foul.
At her account, she can be more aggressive. Robinson just saw a ton of pitches from Avasato, even though she struck out. So I'm curious to see how can this now help Robinson by being on deck and looking at all of that.
Robinson fouls it off. For Kansas Robinson, she's also seen some better ABs, as you just saw on the lower left side of your screen. The improvement in the last set of games, closing in on 300 batting average. Did have a tough outing on Sunday against Michigan. 1 straight chances dating back to 2023. Those are outrageous numbers, and she's not the only one.
Yeah, Blaine, I was mentioning behind the plate, she's really solid. They have a .968 fielding percentage as a team. That's part of what has made Mississippi State so good as they've come along, not just the offense.
Absolutely, and you have to credit Coach Ricketts for also setting the standard high.
Excited for them, and that'll just add to what we're seeing.
Absolutely, with Morgan Stiles now up the plate for Mississippi State. But yeah, there is planned construction, $5 million donated to Northwestern to totally redo the softball field. And it's just great to see that type of investment from the school, from the community. As Stiles gets one through into left. Fast start here in the second for the Bulldogs. Initial call was safe. We're going to wait and see if there's going to be a review. Out was made at second, so Stiles out right there.
And this is what we're trying to see the angle at first. Really good turn and try there.
1 out, runner on first here. Nadia Barbary back up at the plate for the Bulldogs. Score 3-0, Mississippi State on top. Fouled off her own foot. Barbary hit the game-winning RBI single in one.
Sacco's going around home. I would have liked to see Northwestern's defense more try to hold Barbary at 2, because I don't really think they had a chance with Sacco's speed to make that play at home anyways, and so you could have the runner on 2 right now instead of 3.
Runner on third. You don't got to be an analyst to just watch and enjoy.
You are
so
absolutely right about that. I appreciate just good athletes, and so they've got them there.
The Wildcats also have them at the plate. How about that?
Well, I was going to say, Kylan, this is a really, I like this part of the lineup for Northwestern. They could do some damage here. Izzy Kania starting things off. She's got juice in her bat. That's how Coach describes her. Just good piece, right up the middle, good. I'm sure that Northwestern talked about, because when it comes to pickoffs, State, they can get it done. They have picked off 5 runners this season. SEC teams combined have picked off 6. So that gives you a sense of their capabilities behind the plate, both Blaine and Wesolowski.
Fly ball is caught. Bernardini out left.
These are the adjustments that Northwestern will try to make throughout the game. It can be tough when you've got Chafin with the change and the curve as her best pitches, so you're working with some spin and off speed there.
Avery Garden, the freshman, or the first year rather, will now have to try to work with some of that spin, as Elise pointed out, as she steps up in the 9-hole, first-year utility player out of Allen Park, Michigan. The cage. She's like, you look like the other person that was in the field, but you're not the same. What's happening? Put 2 and 2 together. Oh, okay, we have sisters. And now freshman Kalani Sells, also out of Jasper, Texas, is a part of this team. Worked out perfect.
And then Kalani, she did get to play some of the higher level travel while one coach noticed her because she's a little younger,
it seems.
Well, Kate Rohan said that would be key, but I am with you. I've been noticing and trying to pay attention to, is she still getting ahead? Is she still attacking? She has been. I give her credit. Even when things could have sped up on her, she has not let that affect her.
1-2 count here for Bernardini. Gredzelanek, though, with a nice response and just continuing to attack as this game has progressed. And she's just coming off such a good week.
So Styles can't come up with it. Northwestern gets their first base runner in the 3rd.
And hey, why not? Like, why not make a play? Put it in play, like you said. Use the speed.
Probably one of her strengths in engineering. She's so smart.
Yep,
just
she can be too analytical.
Yes, and so in sports it can be the opposite sometimes. But she finds ways to have success, and that's when she's at her best. What she's doing is just simplify your approach.
2-2 pitch. Nader pops it up foul again, staying alive. First team all big.
So Avasado with a soft liner to short. The one thing here from Nito, she sees it in the air. I'd like to see her freeze. She needs to have the eyes that the shortstop is right behind her. This ball could be caught. She is coming off hard. And I don't even know if maybe the way she was going off that hard and looks back, I don't know if there was maybe a double steal in order, or she sees it off the bat but didn't, quick enough realize this is in the air liner. I have to.
1-run shot, another run on the board for the Bulldogs.
I have to admit, I did not think off the bat that this one was out, but this might be where the wind helped her a little bit. But credit to her, gets this in the air, makes good contact straight away. If Mother Nature needs to help, then so be it. But up over for Sacco. And 2, this is someone who, as Coach said, throughout her career, she's looking forward. She thinks she'll be in the leadoff spot. That's how much confidence she has as she will develop in her career. Someone who maybe she thought we could see at the top this season, but is working better in that 9 spot, and it seems to be working.
That's one of the That's one of the exciting things about this Mississippi State team, as Barbary.
And so some of these errant throws that we're seeing, it just set the feet, make the play simplified. It's what you do all the time. The sense of urgency doesn't need to be quite as high. I understand why they could be feeling that. There is speed from this Mississippi State team. There is power. They're trying to make plays because they can sense that every play is important because of the way things can escalate. But just, you had a freshman there just trying to.
Following Riley Gredzelanek putting in some work, but it's going to be the redshirt first year, Signe Dose, stepping into the circle as you see that 3.63 ERA. What is the scouting report here, Elise?
So Signe Dose is going to be a good different look from Riley Gredzelanek. Coach actually likes this order. You could have Gredzelanek, Signe Dose, and then maybe we'll see Lauren Boyd later in the game. But she's going to be more slower spin, so she's got a good rise. Don't want more runs to get scored. She didn't do that. She was still getting ahead. She was pitching to the edges, not trying to be too perfect. I felt that she was controlling what she could control. That's all you can do as a pitcher. Just stayed very balanced and poised out there.
Pinch runner is coming on at first, Greta Grassel. After Blaine was walked, she will replace her there on the base paths. The freshman out.
This one felt like a no-doubter off the bat, just good contact. So she goes the opposite way with it. It's a little up in the zone, but Edwards has no problem keeping her bat high, her hands high. She goes with it. She's pretty much just taking a trot, watching it go out. So with the bases juiced, she does her job, all you can ask for, and this is how Mississippi State scores runs. I watched their game the other day. I was really impressed with Edwards, what she can do defensively, match that with what she
was overturned. We're getting confirmation, as you just saw. It was initially safe, but it's been overturned to out. And now Coach Ricketts and the Bulldogs are going to challenge the call being overturned and being called now. So the call does stand. Coach Ricketts, challenge unsuccessful.
And so that's just a nice play from off.
Now stepping in to pinch hit is going to be Paige Ernstis, the freshman catcher slash infielder, but an Indiana native. So one of those players who's getting to compete closer to home, hopefully has family in the stands able to see her in action here for the Bulldogs.
Well, and Coach told us as a pinch hitter, she seems to come through like every time. So let's.
Styles having quite the day, 2 for 2. Got aboard in her first AB and then hit a home run. This time she keeps it low, grounder to second. Play made at second. Second out of the inning.
With Lindsay in center field going all out. Nice piece straight up the middle. To be also a hard read off the bat, but good effort. That's part of the power that Sacco has added. She worked a lot with the coach you see coaching third, Tyler Bratton, which I found interesting that coach, actually Ricketts doesn't like to coach third. She works with her team throughout the game to make adjustments. So that's why. And I think it's also anchored by Chafin in the circle. You know, you have to give credit to their pitching as well. They do a lot offensively, but it helps when you can rely on that arm in the circle, and that's what Chafin is. She's very reliable, steady. They're a confident team behind her.
Junior infielder Abby Richardson out to pinch run, so she's out there at second in place of Nadia Barbary. Are they ready? But they can compete with anybody.
They want to. I mean, I loved games like this. No, I didn't love if they went like this. No one does. Not when you're an athlete, not when you're a competitor. But in this case, you do get to come back tomorrow and play 2. And it shows you, oh, we got to play better. That you can't get away with some of the little things here and there.
Now up at the plate, 0 for 1 with a fly out. This time it's a line drive down the left field line. Fortunately, just foul, but it was a good-looking swing and some good contact from Ray.
I was thinking the same thing, just pulling that down the line, keeping her hands in. That's what she can do. You know, we talked about both, really. I mean, what a ricochet to get the out. Hopefully she's okay.
Wesolowski out at second. Sells it first.
Even this right now, an interesting conversation, just constantly learning